What's going on, guys? Austin here, and in this video, we are going to be taking a look at the Extra Points 5-Minute Fantasy Week 6 booming and busting defenses. So, my start this week is going to be the Rams. Now, the Rams have had a struggling defense and a struggling offense outside of Cooper Kupp so far this year, but this week they're playing the worst team in the entire National Football League. That's right, the Carolina Panthers, quarterbacked by the worst starting quarterback in the entire National Football League, Baker Mayfield. The Rams, they're just too good to have a bad game against Carolina, and Carolina is just too bad to even have an adequate game against the Rams. There's nothing to it. This is a serious get right game for the Rams, who I believe has a bye week right after this. So I would look to start them against the Panthers. Now, Chargers versus Denver. I keep saying it. I'm just waiting for Denver to have a breakout game offensively. And so far, through 5 weeks, it hasn't happened yet. So I'm just going to keep betting against it. The Chargers, their defense hasn't been fantastic this year, but they've also played a couple of quality offenses. With the Browns and the way that they can run the football, with the Chiefs, they've played the Raiders. They had the one terrible game against Jacksonville, but otherwise they've been a very solid team. I like them in this spot, especially considering the matchups. I mean, without Javonte Williams, they're going to be even better set up, to defend the run, which is their weakest spot. Buccaneers versus Pittsburgh, they're going to be able to get a pass rush on Kenny Pickett. They're going to force Kenny Pickett out of the pocket, running around a lot, and they're going to force Kenny Pickett to throw a few interceptions. I don't think this is going to be a dominating blowout, but I think it's going to be a lower scoring game in which the Steelers turn the ball over at least once. Panthers against the Rams. The Panthers, this one's kind of a long shot, but the Rams have, as we've talked about, a very, very underwhelming offense so far this year. And I think that their game plan is going to be to run the football a lot. Now, Carolina used to have a relatively good run defense. They don't as much this year. So I think that a lot of the big plays that the Rams would have had last year are going to be minimized. So there's going to be less touchdowns. There's going to be less free plays, which is going to give more opportunities for punts. It's going to give more opportunities for, just a lot of 3 and outs, which, lower scoring games. And Matthew Stafford, who right now is turnover prone because he's so under duress, I think the Panthers might be a good start if you have them as, one of your only defenses. And then the Colts at Jacksonville. I know the Colts got their butts kicked by Jacksonville the last time they played, but Jacksonville did some weird things at home, and they were on a kind of a hot streak early to start the season. They're on 2 consecutive poor performances, especially offensively, but also, their defense has been keeping games close. So I think lower scoring games favor defenses on both sides of the football. So the Colts going up against a turnover-prone Trevor Lawrence with maybe one of the best turnover forcers in the NFL, with Shaquille Leonard, it's a great matchup for them. Now the bust, I'm going to say the Commanders, both the Commanders at Chicago and the Bears, at home against Washington on Thursday night. I think that these 2 quarterbacks, they're coming into this game with something to prove, and both defenses have good pieces, but not great enough that they're going to be able to stop the big plays from coming. I know the Bears are relatively rated high defensively, and that Chicago looks like a tasty matchup against a defense that has good pass rushers, but neither of these defenses are going to do very well on Thursday night. The Packers versus the Jets. Now, I'm a firm believer that the Packers have the best defense in the league. They just have an awful coach. And right now, as long as that coaching is bad as it is, and as long as the Packers defense can't figure it out themselves, the Jets have too many weapons for them not to score a few points in this game. And then I don't like the Bengals against New Orleans. I know the Bengals have a relatively high-rated defense, and New Orleans looks good against, against defenses. They're one of the most profitable starts. But that's because they've been turning the football over. I think that, with the couple games off, or I think it was maybe just 2, however many he had that Jameis Winston had off, he's going to have an opportunity to take a look through some film, understand what he was doing wrong, and get back to last year's Jameis Winston, where he started off the first 5 games with, what was it, like 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That's what I think we're going to be looking at. But Let me know what you think. Share your opinion in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. That way you can stay up to date on all of our future content.